Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and for today's video, we are talking about It's a Wonderful Knife. This is a new Christmas slasher horror that came out on Shudder. That is where I watched it, and it takes place in a small town, mostly focusing on this character of Winnie, who in the beginning of the film saves her town, and especially her older brother and group of friends from this killer. And I am going to be talking about spoilers, so if you haven't seen the film, just forewarn, highly suggest going and watching it first, then coming back to this review. But it is revealed that the killer is the character of Henry Walters, who is like a total creepy dude. He's trying to like take over the whole town. He's pretty much buying up all of these houses except for like one to try to build like a super center. I mean, we've seen that done in films, TV shows before. And so in order to do that, he ends up kind of going on this like killing spree. She ends up stopping him. And then the movie flashes forward to a year later. And I do want to address something before I go any further. That character of Henry Walters, the total creep, is ironically played by Justin Long. Now, if you don't, I did not know that going into this film. I know that he has been in a lot of stuff coming out this year. Including like the new Goosebumps, which I have not watched. If you don't know why that's problematic, you can Google it. I'm not going to talk about it publicly on my channel, just because not that I think he's gonna see this, but I don't want to run the risk of getting sued or anything. But yeah, unfortunately, which is a total bummer because I also am someone, like many people, especially horror fans, love Justin Long. But yeah, highly suggest looking up why he's not so great anymore. So, or I guess hasn't ever been, but did not know that going into this film. I just want to specify that right off the bat, for anybody who's maybe concerned. So just, letting you know he is in this film. But anyway, so the film flashes forward to a year later, and Winnie's family has kind of benefited from this. Her dad, who is played by, and I should have written it down, I can't remember the actor's name. I'm filming this on my phone, so I can't look it up. But he is mostly probably well known for being in Community. I'll put his name up. You probably recognize him. He plays his dad in this. And he worked for Henry Walters. So when Henry Walters died, he kind of takes over the company. And so her family now has become kind of the family of this town, has benefited from this. And because of that, they and kind of everyone around her has just pretty much pretended like what happened didn't happen, and she is very just like understandably distraught and overwhelmed by this. I mean, her best friend died, she killed a man, and everyone's just acting like it didn't happen. So on the night of the 1-year anniversary, aka Christmas Eve, she looks up and sees the Aurora Borealis and makes a wish that she had never been born. And it goes into one of those kind of alternative universes where she had never been born, which I love that. I love when shows or movies do that. I feel like that was a very like 90s, early 2000s things. Like you saw a lot of like TV shows would have one episode where like the character wished that they had never been born, and so they went through this whole thing and learned this whole life lesson about the importance of being born, which I think is great. I love that because I think it's a great way to show people that it is important that you're here, even in the setting of this Christmas slasher film. And I've always loved those episodes, so when that happened, because I didn't know that was the aspect going into this film, I was really excited. But she quickly finds out that nobody in this town knows who she is, because of course she was never born. Like her family, her friends, nobody knows who she is, which because of that and the fact that she was never born, this killer a year later is still on the loose, still killing people, and he's pretty much been killing people like every week for the past year, we find out. But because the town is kind of as we find out throughout the film, the town has been kind of put under this like spell of Henry Walters. He is now, the mayor has like completely taken over the town. He built his giant shopping center. Pretty much everybody who is like mourning what happened, all the teenagers, townspeople are either getting high on drugs or drinking. And so they're all just pretty much in this state of fog, and nobody is really like caring, I guess, in part because of the drugs and alcohol, but also I think because it's been going on for a year. At this point, they're all, those who are kind of aware still, are all just like, at this point, it's whatever, people are dying. Like, even one of the characters at one point says that, and says like, what I'm gonna do, live my life in fear, and then of course is immediately killed. But she does end up finding one character, this character who everyone refers to as Weirdaho. That's literally like the name that this town has given her, which they address the horribleness of that. But she manages to convince her, and she believes her, and so the two of them fight to kind of reveal and inevitably kill Henry Walters. And it's a pretty great film. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I love that kind of concept of a character who's having to, I love that concept of like the wishing I was never born character having to go through all of that to, you know, realize that they needed to be born. And it was just a great Christmas slasher, you know, aside from one unfortunate actor being in it. But also, which was really cool in this film, and I think kind of makes up for certain people being in this, we have Catherine Isabel in this film, who of course is just like a horror icon. You, of course, in Ginger Snaps, American Mary, one of like my favorite of her films, just an iconic horror legend. And she plays the cool lesbian aunt of Winnie. So her character is pretty awesome in this film, and which I think definitely adds to the credit and coolness of this film. So I highly suggest this film if you stuck around and you still haven't seen this film, even though I spoiled a lot of it for you. I didn't completely spoil everything. There's definitely some twists in this film, and there's some things between characters that happen that I didn't reveal to you, so it is still definitely worth checking out. If you have seen this film, let me know what your thoughts were on it in the comments below. If you did enjoy this, let me know what other kind of Christmas slashers I should check out. If you want to see more reviews of Christmas horror films, I have a whole playlist of ones that I've done throughout the years on my channel, which I will link at the end of this video. And I hope that you did enjoy this. If you did, please do give it a big old thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more spooky and horror related content. If you would like to help support the channel and get bonus content, you can join my Patreon, which there will also be a link to that in the description. And I will see you all again later with another video. Bye.